Hiya! Welcome! Something a little bit different on my channel today. I've been tagged in one of these YouTube tag challenges, which isn't that unusual. I've been tagged in a few over the past year, 18 months. However, this one is a specific Harry Potter magical tag or something. And I was tagged in it by the lovely Jess from Absolute Unboxing with Jess and Peyton.
Rita Skeeter, Rita Skeeter, Rita Skeeter, Rita Skeeter,
Rita Skeeter, Rita Skeeter, Rita Skeeter, Rita Skeeter,
Rita Skeeter, Rita Skeeter.
Now, I'm a Harry Potter fan. I wouldn't say I'm a super fan, I'd say I'm more sort of casual, leaning towards being a proper fan. I've read the books, generally like them all, a couple of exceptions. Watched all the movies, liked them all generally, there again, with one or two sort of quibbles. I like the franchise, Harry Potter, the Wizarding World. I'm just not sort of really super into it. I don't collect the Funko Pops, that's mainly because there's just too many of them. But I was tagged in this challenge and I'm really looking forward to getting cracking with it actually, as there's some really fascinating questions. I've got them up on my iPad. How many? I think there's 22 questions. So we need to get going with this magical Harry Potter Wizarding World tag thing, and thank you to Jess for tagging me in this. So there's some general questions first. The first question is my favourite magical potion or drink. I didn't really know what to put for this. I did a bit of research last night on quite a few of these questions actually, and looking at the Wikipedia articles on the Wizarding World and everything, I think probably my favourite drink were I in this Wizarding World would be pumpkin juice. Not because I like pumpkins, but apparently it's like orange juice, but it has a little bit of pumpkin extract in it or something. I don't know. Number 2, my favourite magical book. Well, this will be favourite Harry Potter book. I'll have to say, I think still it's the first one, Philosopher's Stone, or Sorcerer's Stone if you're in America. There again, it's a case of the first out of a series is usually the best. I know there is exceptions in certain franchises, but Philosopher's Stone for me, it wasn't over long. Some of the later Harry Potter books have got great moments in them, great chapters, but there's a lot of filler in for me, like especially Deathly Hallows. They split that into 2 films and I think they still left out a lot of what was in the book. But Philosopher's Stone, it's sort of concise but still quite thorough. It's a great novel, it's a great story for children and adults alike. It does set up nicely the future novels in the series, Chamber of Secrets and so on. But it's good as a standalone book as well, and I think it probably won't be beaten by J.K. Rowling in that respect. Number 3, favourite magical TV series. I was really struggling with this, and then I remembered something that I used to watch in my childhood, and it was on for, God, about 7 or 8 years I think, on Children's ITV, and it was a magical TV series, and it was known as Teabag, and here's a bit of it now.
Hey, this lizard isn't in your first programme, is it, mate?
No, it's not. I couldn't get a polar bear in the studio.
Yes, well, just keep an eye on it while we watch Teabag.
What was her name again? Daphne, Deirdre...
T-shirt.
No, I'm T-shirt. That's Debbie, that's it.
Never mention that name to me again.
What, Debbie?
So I'm not saying that I would enjoy that again now as a nearly 40-year-old adult, but that does bring back a lot of happy childhood memories watching that after getting home from primary school. Yeah, Teabag would be my favourite magical TV series, simply because, even though I wouldn't watch it now, it does bring back some happy memories. Number 4, favourite magical movie. Well, that's favourite Harry Potter movie. I like the book of this, even though I didn't pick it as my favourite Harry Potter novel. It would be up there, maybe my second favourite novel, but it's definitely my favourite film, as I think it's just a really strong Harry Potter movie from start to finish, and that is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Brilliant film. My favourite magical item in my collection. Now, for a little while I was struggling with what to pick for this, and then I realised we live in an era where modern technology If someone had talked to us about iPhones and all these really sort of high-tech games consoles and all this ultra-modern tech, if someone had sort of talked about that and tried to show concepts or examples 30 years ago, back when I was young, I'd be like, well, that's like magic. How's that going to happen? And it's happened in my lifetime, and technology's only going to keep improving. I think, you know, we're living in a really incredible age for that. So I'm going to pick my favourite magical item in my collection. It's not a Harry Potter thing. Then I'm going to pick my Echo Spot down there. I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but it just sits there. It's got a little screen on it, and I can do things such as ask it questions, and it also can turn my lights on and off, and it can turn my Xbox on and off just by the power of my voice, and for me that's very magical. Alexa, give me a Harry Potter quote.
Here is a Harry Potter quote. You were right when you told Professor Snape that wand was failing you. It will always fail you. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 2.
See? What can be more magical than that? It's like I've got an assistant in my own home, but she's not looking at me in the altogether or anything. I hope not. Anyway, there is a camera on it. Right, number 6, my favourite magical person, and this can be a real person or a fictional character. I'm picking this guy.
On BBC One Now, we feature the winning entry, which carried off the Golden Rose Award at the recent Montreux Festival, the Paul Daniels Magic Show.
There again, grew up watching this guy in the 1980s of a Saturday night, and he became a game show host in the 90s as well. Don't like the fact he's a fucking Tory though. Number 7, favourite magical thing about myself. Well, this is a lesser known fact about me, but I can remove my own thumb. Yeah, this thumb on my left hand, I can take it off. You don't believe me? Well, just detaches there, look. Just have to. There we are. Yep. Always had that detachable thumb. Magical. Okay, there's some specific Harry Potter questions now. Number 8 is, what was the house I was sorted into in Pottermore? Funnily enough, I did this a few months ago, and I was sorted into Ravenclaw. And I was kind of expecting to as well, just from my quite basic research of all the houses. I thought, I bet you I'm going to end up in Ravenclaw. And I did. Yeah, that is my official Harry Potter, or Hogwarts I should say, house. Ravenclaw. Number 9, my second or undercover house. Now, I didn't actually know this was a thing. I'm assuming this is something that I would choose myself rather than let the Pottermore website or something automated choose for me. I think if I had to go undercover, it would probably be in Slytherin, just because they seem to have more fun, don't they? I mean, they're kind of a rum bunch, all in all. Yeah, Slytherin, because they seem to have fun there, and they're kind of crafty and cunning, and some of them are a little bit sick and twisted. And I don't think I am really, but I do like a sort of near-the-knuckle joke and stuff, and I think I could probably hang with the Slytherins, even if I was spying on them rather than actually being a part of their house, really. Number 10, favourite class at Hogwarts. I was looking at some of the classes last night. Like I said, I was doing a lot of research for this, putting a lot of thought into it, because I felt I had to, because not being a massive fan of this franchise, I felt I needed to do my homework a little bit. I think probably the class I would enjoy the most at Hogwarts would be potions, I think. That always looks a lot of fun. Number 11, who at Hogwarts would be your best friend? I think my best friend at Hogwarts would be Seamus. Seamus Finnegan, is it? He just reminds me of an Irish lad who was, and is, a friend of mine. Spent a lot of time with him back when I lived in Ireland, and he just reminds me totally of Seamus. Like the sort of way he talks and his personality as well. sort of a cheeky chappy type guy. And I think I would hang with Seamus at Hogwarts. Yeah, I think he'd be my Bezzy mate, really. I think Neville would be in our friendship group as well. You know, he does come across a bit of a sad sack sometimes, does Neville Longbottom, but he's a good lad. Number 12, favourite villain. I think simply because I just thought he used charisma throughout the Harry Potter series, in the movies particularly. I would pick Lucius Malfoy, Draco's father. Just that sort of really long mane of blonde hair, and that sort of really kind of arrogant sort of looking down on people. You know, he really despised the Weasleys. He felt that they were fans of muggles, and of course Lucius Malfoy was a muggle racist, or whatever the term is. You know, he hated anyone who wasn't pure blood, and he didn't like half-bloods either, did he? That's why the Malfoy family took against Hermione, I think. No, Hermione was born of muggles. Like, she had magic, but like neither her mother or father were in the wizarding world, were they? But yeah, Lucius Malfoy is my answer for that. Number 13, favourite Weasley. I nearly picked Ron, and then I realised, no, I'm going to pick Arthur, simply because the guy who plays him, Mark Williams, I'm a big fan of a sketch show that was on in the 1990s called The Fast Show, and Mark Williams was one of the main stars of that before he made it big in the Harry Potter universe and other things.
This week, I have been mostly eating Bourbon biscuits.
You in Sydney? Right.
I mean, the great British public's mental horizons are so narrow.
Well, they have no imagination, you see.
No, impressionists. It's like the standard impersonations, which everyone does.
Frankie Howard?
Michael Caine.
Oh, Frank Spencer.
Frank Spencer? I can do an impression of Frank Spencer. Ooh, Betty! Ooh! Ooh, Betty! Ooh! I'll get me coat.
Some of Mark Williams' characters in The Fast Show were some of my favourites in that show. So mainly because of the actor rather than the character, I'm picking Arthur Weasley because I think Mark Williams is a great actor and a funny guy. It made my day when I first watched The Philosopher's Stone and I saw that Mark Williams was in the movie. Number 14, favourite shop in Diagon Alley. A lot of really cool shops. I like the bookstore, I can't remember what that's called now, but I think the one I chose because it looked so much fun in the movie, and I'm trying to think which movie it came in first. Was it Goblet of Fire or Order of the Phoenix? One of those. That was Weasley's Wizard Weezers, you know, the shop Fred and George Weasley set up that has all the practical jokes and little magic tricks and stuff that they sold. It suited their personality perfectly to open that shop. Yeah, that was the fun scene in the film. Next section is a few questions asking would I rather, and number 15 is would I rather participate or spectate in the Triwizard Tournament. Yeah, spectate, definitely. I just haven't got the bravery or mental and physical fitness to participate in the bleeding Triwizard Tournament, no way. Number 16, take Crabbe or Goyle to the Yule Ball. This was a weird question because I don't really think I want to take either of them, really. You know, they're both Draco Malfoy's lackeys, aren't they? There's nothing sort of really in depth about them as characters. We never sort of go into the life history of Crabbe or Goyle, do we? I think their parents were Death Eaters or something, I think, from what I remember. Just because I like his name a little bit, I'll pick Goyle, but I really don't care about that question, to be honest. Question 17, would I rather spend a day in the life of Rita Skeeter or Dolores Umbridge? I picked Umbridge for this. Not entirely sure why. I think because when I watched Order of the Phoenix and read the book as well, obviously, previous to that, she was a nasty piece of work, Umbridge, and I almost picked her as my top villain. She was a great villain because she's someone who supposedly is on the right side of history, or Hogwarts history, but she's just really sort of nasty and spiteful. I picked Umbridge because she just sort of had that contentedness about all the nasty things she was doing, like the way she was treating Harry and the Order of the Phoenix themselves. Rita Skeeter is a journalist, isn't she? It surprises me a little that I wouldn't pick her because I am someone who's worked as a journalist, but I just think choosing between those two, I would rather have the life of Dolores Umbridge at least for a day. Number 18, vomit snails or lose the bones in your arm. Oh god, this was like the old what would you rather have, sickness or diarrhea question, innit? Which do you pick? In the end, simply because I hate snails and slugs and slimy things like that, and the thought of them coming out from my innards, out of my mouth, just made me shudder thinking about it. I did have to pick lose the bones in my arm. As long as it's only one arm, like preferably my left arm, I wouldn't want to lose the bones in the old arse wiping arm, would I? Perhaps I could get used to sort of like one arm sort of dangling and just being all floppy. And it still kind of creeps me out thinking about it, but there we are. And to end on, we've got a few miscellaneous questions here. Number 19, if you could have a magical or mythological pet, what would it be? I'm not a big animal guy. Not really into pets. I have had pets when I've been younger, but keeping pets and general sort of interest in animals I've never really had to any great extent. So I think in the wizarding world I'd want a pet that was sort of easy to maintain, that sort of did its own thing and just was there when I needed it. And then I thought, well, probably the only pet really that would suit me in the wizarding world would be an owl, because they're good at fetching mail, aren't they? And I do love getting mail, so yeah, I just want a good owl, one to bring me all my stuff from Amazon and eBay, or whatever the wizarding equivalent of Amazon and eBay is. If you could own any magical power, what would it be? I'm going to pick to make my shit and piss disappear, and you might think you've been disgusting, but J.K. Rowling, or someone who works for the official Wizarding World social media, actually tweeted about this. I'll put it up on screen now. So this is something that they've actually discussed back before the advent of good plumbing. In the wizarding universe, witches and wizards could relieve themselves on the spot, presumably, you know, within their own clothes, and then a quick spell, and it goes. I mean, that, to me, is very handy, you know, never having to use a toilet, and then you're as good as new, sort of thing as well. I think Jason Clough, not suitable for Mum, that'd be perfect for him, because he's constantly shitting. He's just like a total shitting machine, so if he could have a spell where he's not having to get up to go to the toilet every 5 minutes, then I think he'd love that, and I would as well, to be honest, just because, I don't know, I just find it funny that they even tweeted about that. Number 21, penultimate question, if you could apparate, where would you go? I mean, there's a few places that I would go, I suppose. If it's somewhere where I'm already familiar with, somewhere that I've been before, but I would just like to apparate there, I would pick Ireland, and this kind of touches upon my Q&A that I did last week, where I was asked what my favourite country is. And Ireland is my favourite country, and I lived there for a year, as some of you will know. Just got so many happy memories of being there, and just be able to apparate and just get there instantly, and then just come back and forth between my home here in the UK and Ireland anytime I wanted, you know, within minutes or even seconds. I think that would be really cool. Plus me and Seamus could go and he'd take me to meet his family and stuff. We'd hang out and drink Guinness. Well, I wouldn't drink Guinness because I'm teetotal. We'd have some good crack, that's for sure. And the final question, number 22, what magical item is on your wish list? So kind of going back to the whole Amazon Echo thing, considering modern technology quite magical, and I think it is really. I know we kind of take it for granted now, but without being sort of cynical and everything, I think there is kind of a magic about all these devices that we're using, that if someone had talked about the concept of them 30 years ago, we would have thought they were crazy. But my magical item on my wish list is a new iPhone. I don't really need a new iPhone, but I promised my daughter my current phone. Therefore that means I will need to upgrade, so I should be doing that at some point, sooner or later. My current phone is perfectly fine, but my daughter wants it, and it's just a good excuse for me to get a newer model of iPhone. So there we are, a bit of a weird way to end this tag, but thank you for watching, and I hope you've learnt a bit about me and about my thoughts on Harry Potter and the Wizarding World. As for tagging other people, I think all the people I know in kind of like my friends group and fellow YouTubers who are fans of Harry Potter, I think most of them have been tagged now, or maybe even all of them. Actually, I'm not sure Big Inzy has been tagged yet in this, so Big Inzy, someone else may have tagged him doing their own video, but Big Inzy, Rickles, I will tag you because I know you are a Harry Potter fan as well. You were the Geek Gear Wizardry Face of the Month or something last year, weren't you? So let's see what Big Insy has to come up with. I won't tag anyone else, but if anyone else wants to do this, I'll just say, yeah, generally, I'll tag everybody, but particularly Big Insy, because I know he's a Potter fan and I don't think Jess tagged him. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you to all my viewers and subscribers and patrons. You're all bloody marvellous, and I do hope that you will join me again next time for my next magical video. Cheers, everyone. See ya!